Hey everyone, Joe Parner here, Sharon Pearson.
Hey.
How are you all? Look, we thought we'd do something really special to...
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, we want to do something special for the entire TCI community, and it's something that Sharon and I have been talking about for the last few weeks actually, and it's some very special, not only a special message, but also some special directions and instruction and some beautiful things that we want to share with you. So, yeah, hey, how you going?
I'm really well, thank you. And I just want to say thank you so much for being part of our community.
Let's have a chat about where you're at now in terms of your thinking.
I bring in so much of my thinking now is shaped by strategies, so the tote model, so I'll do it another way. Everything in my thinking is if then. If I such and such, then what will happen?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my life as this whole if then experiment. If I blah, then what happens? If I think this way, then what result do I get? If I feel this way, then what? So everything's now in if then. And can be annoying because it's exhausting in my head sometimes. But I really am doing this if then experiment, Joe, on my life and my relationships.
Yeah. Well, I dare say, so I guess we could call it consequential thinking.
Yeah, it is.
And what I love about that is that, well, I dare say, that's contributed massively to where you are today.
Yeah. So you and I were just talking about that on camera.
Yeah, we were.
I consider myself a consequentialist.
Yeah.
Which means I'm doing my best with the thinking I have available to me to figure out what future choices are going to become available or not available based on the choices I'm present to now.
Yeah.
And if I don't change the now, I don't get access to different choices.
Yeah.
So the consequences aren't what I want. So if I talk in terms of future self, if I want to be this version of my future self, then what do I fill that with? Yeah. That's what consequential thinking is to me in terms of our world.
Completely. And how does consequential thinking change the past, if the past can be changed?
Yeah, so there's a lot of commentators I'm listening to right now say the past can't be changed. But they don't say your relationship and orientation to your past can change radically.
Good point.
And you know, with the speakers we've been listening to recently, they're not saying that.
No.
And that's the gap to me, and that's the gift. The gap is the gift.
Yeah.
Because I cannot change what happened in my past. How I orient myself to my memories of my past radically shift. I'll give you a great example. I just spent a week with my family. And part of what I'm doing, part of my journey to my future self and if then and studying all of this is digging into my family's history. And I'm finding out mind-blowing things just that are reorientating me incredibly around who I thought I was and who my family is and who my family's been. I knew very simple things. I knew, for example, my grandmother on my dad's side was a downstairs maid. She was literally a downstairs maid. But I didn't know that when she got together with her husband back then, the marriage was kind of had to happen and there was a lot of pressure. I didn't know all the intricacies, and I still don't, the subtleties that shaped the next 3 generations, including me.
Yeah.
So I'm really figuring out what's the best way to orient myself to my past to free as much RAM as I can for who I want to become. So I've just spent a week doing this. I literally interviewed my dad for 2 hours.
Wow.
And my mum, day after day. It was amazing. I've got this whole family tree and it's incredible because I am reoriented. I want to because my past there's a lot of working class in my past. Yeah. Generations, Joe. Like we literally go back to had no land, had no hope, just servants. Like literally our past. You know, there was one graduate other than me amongst over 100 people.
Incredible.
From university, which isn't necessarily a measure of everything, but it's a measure of something.
Yeah.
So there's so many examples of where we had it tough or had this belief that it was tough and we're the underdog, and there's just, I now know 5 generations of underdogs, and which has shaped how my parents were with me, which shaped my orientation around me and who I am in the world, and I think probably has definitely shaped me.
So I might be going on a bit of a leap here.
Go.
Before what I'm hearing is that with the consequential, as a consequentialist, it means, from what you've said, is that it brings on more compassion for your past. It brings on more understanding of why, say, the previous generation was the way the previous generation was.
And what they had as expectations of me, either to be that or break free of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that goes a whole many layers deeper. What we say in coaching, that our parents did the best they could with what they had. It goes so much deeper than that.
Joe, it has.
Yeah.
Like truly, these last 5 days have blown me away.
It's unreal, isn't it?
It has reorientated. So you can't change your past. Yeah, but you can reorientate yourself towards the memory. It's not your past you're orientating towards.
Yeah.
It's a memory of a memory of a memory of a memory of a memory ad nauseum at this point.
Yeah.
And I reorientated myself towards all that memory, and that's creating a chaining anchor effect of feeling, as you say, compassion, appreciation, a sense of maybe understanding, but what do I know, because I don't know these people. But I found I had 13 cousins. Do you reckon that blew me away when I told you I didn't have a family? I have 13 cousins and 20-something second cousins.
Incredible.
But more than it's what you're saying. It's helped me have perspective on what they wanted for me and what they didn't want for me.
Yeah.
And in that journey, I'm questioning, well, how much of that is me and how much of that can I question? And is that contributing to the future me I want to become?
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And I literally landed last night. I got home last night. So I'm still in the throes of what does that mean and what do I want it to mean and how I'm going to relate to my past. Because that's determining my thoughts, my feelings and my actions.
Yes.
Which is where we're getting to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, considering the effect that this is going to make on the future, which we'll get into in more detail, I'm going to go deeper on that in a moment with you. But given that, as many have said, we've only got this moment of now, right? And as
the grateful moment of now.
The grateful moment of now. Yeah, isn't that beautiful language?
Yeah, Joe Dispenza said
that.
It's
beautiful.
Just it was grateful, wasn't it? The
grateful moment of now.
Grateful moment of now.
And linking into that, as Sam Harris has said, that 50% of our past memories are completely made up. We distort it so much that half of it is fact and half of it is just completely imagination.
It's perspective.
Exactly. So much
but
of.
Take that and reorientate yourself around that. So if less than 50% actually happen.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Loosen. Yeah. Loosen up how we orientate ourselves to our past or our memories of our memories of our memories of our past. Because it wasn't accurate in the first place.
Yeah, completely. So tell me, with how you've been I have trouble with that word, Chef. Orienting. how you've been looking at your past.
Yeah.
Well, the meanings that you've been looking and what you've been focusing on in the past and what you've been discovering. How is that impacting the woman that you are in this moment? We'll say the grateful moment of now. How is that contributing to that?
So the whole reason I'm doing this is to figure out my next iteration of me, of course. It's getting that time of year. Yeah. When I sit down with my husband, we work out the theme for the year.
Indeed.
I work out the theme for
Because you do, don't you? You have themes every year.
25 years.
Yeah. What was your theme this year?
Never say.
Oh, you never? Oh, it's a private thing?
Yeah, never.
Pardon me?
Never, yeah, of course. Never reveal. Because I don't then want people saying how you're going with your theme. You said you'd be blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not here to... It's not a judgment thing. It's
you don't want to compare yourself with other people's standards. You compare yourself with...
And it's hard enough me saying to JP, we don't seem to be living without having anyone else reminding me.
Sure.
1 year, I will confess to 1 year at the year of consolidation, went to more debt than we've ever been in our lives. It's like, we're never doing that theme again. No. We've done a lot better financially. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So the whole reason I'm doing this is because I want to be the best version of me I can be now and in my future. And just like investments, if I don't set up my investments and think long term, and I know you're a big fan of long term thinking, if I'm not thinking long term or at least projecting out into some future time that hasn't happened yet, in a way that's different to how I orientated myself in my past, I'm going to have more of my past.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly well said.
And I often take your thinking on this, Joe, and I know you talk about it all the time, that if you want to limit your life, have short-term thinking. Yeah. If you want to expand the vision of you, have long-term thinking.
Well, it's an important point, isn't it? Because short-term thinking is reacting to our fears. And most of our fears are just psychological ghosts.
I love
it. Whereas long-term thinking means it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel maybe not enough with this or not enough with that, or maybe I'm getting better with that over there. It's making the moment now okay,
Now talk more about that. I love that. I love what you just said. Short term is a reaction.
A reaction,
to our fears.
an emotional
not a
reaction.
Response, a reaction to our fears. Let's unpack that. Reaction's really key.
Well, the word reaction.
It's key.
Is riddled in emotion.
Yeah.
And these emotions are chemical reactions.
It's the instinct.
It is.
It's not the emotion of choice, or it's not the feeling, which is the expression. I call feelings the expression of. Emotions is, as you say, it's the chemical flood in the body.
It is. It's an automated response. Yeah. And if we act, decide, become, whilst in the cloud of that emotion, we're reacting to that fear. And short-term thinking means we're not thinking from a perspective basis, we're reacting to the experience of the moment. And what I love about what you're saying with consequential thinking is consequential thinking, almost, for the want of a better word, forces us to go into that perspective space. And you know, what do they say when we're getting all caught up in our experiences? Hey, Jack, you've got to get things into perspective. Mm. So that alone, perspective is then long-term thinking, which the important point there, I guess, is that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel whatever we're feeling in those moments.
Well, it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's a requirement. To be a full human being, I have to be uncomfortable and be okay to be uncomfortable occasionally.
Yeah.
It's not where I want to live, but it is as valid a feeling as anything else. And this is going a little bit off topic, but a big part of my journey to tie into what we're saying is my past had a lot of anxiety in it, as you know.
Yeah.
And my movement out of that swamp has been sitting with it, would you believe?
Sure. Yeah.
The only way I got out of feeling anxiety was to, okay, I'm feeling anxious. I'm not going to make myself busy, more successful. I'm not going to make a phone call. I'm not going to create a program. I'm not going to run from it. I'm going to sit with it. And that's what I've done.
Yeah.
So to me, I did that for my long-term self, for the future self. It wasn't just to create a better now. It's like, man, if I don't change this pattern, this automation you talk about,
yeah,
I'm going to still be I'm going to be super successful, but the inside is not going to match the outside.
Yeah.
So, but I still want to unpack what you were saying. So there's a reaction. It's a reaction to short term is a reaction to the fear, and then you said long term is.
Long-term thinking is based more in love because you're coming from the perspective of perspective, and it's making it okay. I'm going to add another layer to this, Sharon.
Yeah, go. I'm concentrating.
Long-term thinking makes it okay to feel uncomfortable. Long-term thinking also, this is the irony of, I think, human life. Because I remember on day one of my training with you way back, you taught us about the three...
When was that? What year?
That was February 2006.
Wow.
But I remember something that was relieving. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's
beautiful.
Amazing. It's so good.
There was something that you taught us, which were the three universal fears on that first day, which created a lot of relief in me. You know, the fear of not being enough, the fear of not belonging, the fear of not being loved. Now, what happens is, when we become more invested in long-term thinking, and we're uncomfortable with something in the moment because we're looking to delay gratification, or we're looking to do that kind of to meet with that future self, what tends to happen is it's natural for the fear of not being enough to show up. It's natural for the fear of rejection or not belonging to show up, and the fear of not being loved that has to show up.
Yeah.
And
because we're literally going against instinct.
Correct.
Which came from all the generations before us.
Correct.
That's
everything you were sharing.
You've just said, that's what I've just been doing for the last 5 days.
Yeah.
More excavation on where is my focus, what am I attending to? Why am I attending to that and not this? Because as great as my now is and as great as my future self, I'm looking forward to all of it, really, all of it. It's amazing. It really is amazing. I know there's another level.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
I tell you, another thing I love what you're saying there, is that what I'm finding is, from what you're saying, and again, obviously knowing you for so long, is we've all got an ego, of course, and we know from coaching world that an ego is a survival mechanism, but it's also so much more than that.
Yeah.
And
it
ego
can be a protector or a preventer.
It's our personality. It's also the way we think and our mind. What I love is that it's like you're... correct me if I'm off track here, Sharon, but what I'm hearing is that a lot of the shackles, and we've all had shackles in the past of the ego, it's like you've unshackled yourself from lots of the ego thinking from the past by sitting in the swamp.
Not all of it, Joe.
No, not all of it.
It's revealing more layers. This last 5 days is,
it's a continual journey.
It's wonderful.
We're never going to land.
Never going to land.
Yeah.
Lifetime learner. Unapologetically a lifetime learner.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I love it. And that's a whole other conversation, isn't it?
Yes, it is.